Hey,
It's Wednesday.
wickedly.
Wicked Wednesday. I'm Amy.
I'm Kevin.
And what?
That's Wendell.
That's Wendell.
Yeah, I'm Wendell.
Wendell is our friend, family, teammates. He is the Papa Bear of the.
He's everything.
He is the Papa Bear. So welcome to the show, Papa Bear. We're glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here.
We'll start for just real quick. Have you had anything weird happen to you this week?
Yeah. And it's all visual.
Do tell.
All visual.
Really?
Yeah. And it's one of those
Do you
where
have your cameras hooked up yet?
Yeah.
Back again?
Yeah.
Are you recording?
Trying to, but they're not catching anything. But this isn't like the shape that we saw go through the house.
Right.
This isn't that. There has been probably 5 times in the last week where maybe since the last show.
At the same time?
No. Where I will start thinking, like jump, thinking that Chandler's where I didn't
Where
think he
are
was.
you?
Everywhere in the house.
Everywhere. Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Like someone's there and you're just like, oh, I didn't.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, Chandler.
And
nothing's there. But it's so quick that I can't say I saw something.
But you felt something.
5 times in the last week and a half or so.
And you're in different places every time.
Yeah.
Does it feel exactly the same?
Pretty much.
Like the same energy?
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin.
Like really. Yeah, man.
And this may be way off, but didn't your mom have a birthday within the last few days?
It was yesterday.
Oh.
Okay. Could that have been maybe part of the presence? Possibly. Her popping around right at her birthday.
You saying that?
Here comes the cat.
I can't say it wasn't, because it wasn't, other than the turning and thinking you saw somebody.
Right.
It wasn't like startling. You know what I mean? Other than
Oh yeah.
Other than that. So, it never felt like holy shit. It never felt like something's going to get me. It's never felt any of that.
Reese, this isn't appropriate for TV.
So thanks for our explicit rating.
Now we're like OnlyFans.
But
like, shit.
Yeah, Wendell, that's a good point, because I never felt uncomfortable other than the fact that I thought I saw something right beside me.
Right. I just know when my parents passed, we did the investigation over at my house, and I noticed things started to amp up around a couple of the holidays. Like his birthday was Groundhog Day, and then Mom was May 21st. And it seemed to me when I was in the old house that every time one of those got close, certain things would happen. Stuff would move. I get a funny feeling that somebody was standing there beside me, that kind of stuff. So
that's why he's Papa Bear.
Yeah.
He solved the crime.
Yeah. That's exactly how, this way it was like right by me. Not across the room, it was right there with me. And I was like, duh. Okay. So, and that has never, the fact that I even bring it up feels kind of weird, because I would dismiss it every time. But now that I've brought it up and I'm thinking about it, I've never had that happen before.
He's on something. Makes sense what he's saying.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. We already know you have something else there that I think is.
But this is completely different.
Yeah, I know.
And it's been in the last week and a half, and her birthday was day before yesterday. Yeah. So yeah, Wendell. Yeah, heads up. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't think of. Okay, I gotta go home. That like did me for the day. So what about you? Anything going on?
Yeah, like my wife's over there, like, you know, when she first got here, I never heard the TV people. Now she hears TV people all the time. And like the last few nights, like I was she'd gone to bed before me, not much before me, like 5 minutes or whatever. I was watching some bullshit on TV, right? My 90-day fiance bullshit. Yeah, I know you're talking about, but like, so I gotta turn off the TV. We turned the little crow light goes on at night, and I turn the other light off in here. I go in the bathroom and brush my teeth, and I'm in there, and I'm like halfway through brushing, and I'm like, what is she watching? And then I was like, maybe because sometimes I don't know. Anybody who's ever been to my house knows that this TV has its own mind, okay? And it randomly will turn itself on. Sometimes it's the cats. Sometimes it's.
Last week it wasn't the cats.
No,
a lot of times it's not.
Yeah, most of the time it's not the cats, but there is a random time where Reese has kicked off like the little black like the Roku thing. We have Roku in here, not the other thing, and she's kicked it off onto the floor, and it's done it, and it's kicked on. But 9 times out of 10, it just comes on by itself. It's fun. But so I thought, well, maybe I just didn't push the button all the way, or it came back on, and I'm like, really? So I walk back out here. It's still dark, except for the little crow light, you know, holding his little light bulb. And so I went back in the bathroom, you know, finished, brushed my teeth, whatever, you know, because I'm in the middle of brushing my teeth. And so then I just turned the water off, like when I was done, and I just stood there for a minute listening. And it was like she was watching TV in the bedroom. And I was like, all right. So I go on in the bedroom, and she's, you know, already like in like hands tucked in her pockets, basically that's, and she's like asleep. And so I'm like,
you sleep with your hands in your pockets?
Yeah. If you see me like if she's yeah. Like yeah. She's done. If you
she was already in sleep mode.
Yeah. So
and no TV.
And you know, I was like, And I think at one point I had asked her,
you did,
are you watching? What are you watching? She was like, I'm not watching anything. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, okay, well, at one point I had turned this because I fuck with the Alexa sometimes. That woman, that ball thing over there, you know, her name starts with A. And so sometimes, like now she meows before she tells me the weather. It's ridiculous. But so you know, I had some weird shit, and so I had set like a sleep music thing at one point. But my wife has this ridiculously loud fan that you can't hear anything. It sounds like you're in the engine of a plane. So you can't hear the music if it's playing.
It's a tornado.
But I thought, well, maybe she didn't have the fan on. You know, when I open the door and then I see her there like asleep, and I'm like, fuck.
But that's also, you asked me something or told me something, and I was like, well, I heard something. I heard something when I closed the blinds. I heard like a
that was yesterday.
Tween-ish voice say something.
She was like, no, nothing's on, but I just heard a woman's voice. And then I walk in there, you know, 10 minutes later after I've done checked this, went and made sure the back door's locked, and she's dead asleep. And I'm like, now mind you, you don't always hear, it's not like you hear it and you hear it all over the house.
No.
It's not like that. It's in different, you know, it's like if somebody, I don't know, it's the two people. So then I don't know. We have shit happen all the time, but we also thrift. We've started doing all this. Crazy
you're bringing
thrifty.
all kinds of stuff home,
and we've brought all kinds of stuff in the house. And like I said today, I like looked around the room and I was like, can we honestly say that everything in here we know where it came from? Mm-hmm. Not everything.
No.
We don't know its origins of where it originated from. You know, like you see that we put new.
Mm-hmm. They were here last week.
Okay, yeah, the new sconce stuff. Well, who knows where they came from? You know what I mean? Like, who the hell knows this cool ass alien being over here? Something here, and I don't really know that you're gonna let some new come in. I don't know how that. We'll find out. But
Just different stations, I guess.
I guess so. Like, but for today, we were both sitting here and we're talking about stuff and she was like, "Come in." Who is it?
Light knots, like real light.
Really?
It was very, but nobody could hear that if I did it. But it almost sounded like it was on the screen door because we've had the door open all day, just the screen to let. Because it's been lovely here.
So it's picked up it here too, then.
Mm-hmm.
But we're coming.
Yeah,
the veil is thinning. You're
turning this
time of year
into a paranormal inn, so it's.
Yeah, I'm like, come on in, kids.
Yeah.
Welcome. Pick a spot.
Bathrooms down the hall.
If you see anything that you like, feel free to touch it. Please don't break it because a lot of the stuff's actually antique and but pop a squat on the couch. It's fine.
Oh, so
my wife, just so you know, spirits, my wife keeps it cold as fuck in here. So, bring your slippers.
No, I don't.
Bring your slipper socks. Bring your slipper socks. Ghosties, bring your slipper socks.
I put it on 75. I come in here, it's on 76. I know you come behind me. And
why am I wearing these?
Don't come to my house. Y'all keep it at 75 and 76. Don't come to my house.
That's why you saw me in there sweating today.
What do you keep it at?
67 is where I would prefer it to be.
Wow, that's colder than I keep it. I keep it at 73. So, Wendell, what is perfect setting for an air conditioner?
They recommend 74, 72 to 74.
Okay, cool.
What they recommend. And then in the winter, it's 70.
What do you do in the winter? You probably keep it like at 80.
You come here in the winter. You can set it at whatever. This is a cold house.
It is a cold house.
It's very cold. Like she's
not during the summer.
Not in the summer. Actually, it does, but it maintains a temperature.
I will tell you that 70, whatever it's at right now, feels colder than my house at 73.
Well, part of that's the outside cooling off because it's getting back down close to 56, 60 tonight. So it's a
cold
mix.
at night.
There feels like a little bit of breeze, not much.
Alexa, what's the temperature?
The ceiling fan.
And a lot of that could be the windows. If you don't have the thermal pane windows, you'll generate a lot more cool air.
Yeah, my windows are like ancient.
Mine aren't, but they could be better. The problem in this house is there's no insulation under the house in the crawl space.
Just dirt.
Just some dirt. We got some dirt and some more clay. We got some clay and some limestone under there.
Yep.
Sure do. It's conducting all the spirits. They come on there and they're like, "Ooh, limestone. I like it a lot." And you think about how weird this street is, and to the new people that were to move onto my street, I'd be like, "Do you really want to know all the gossip? Because I got it. I'll tell you some things."
She sits at the desk
with her binoculars.
With her binoculars.
I don't always use
No, she doesn't always use binoculars.
I don't, but sometimes both me and the cat are like looking out the doorway at the same thing.
And it's good if I have to get my binoculars, which are down here.
Y'all have 2 sets of binoculars?
Yes. I was neighborhood watch and
she came
to North Carolina.
That's scary. Somebody drives by and you're both there in the window with your binoculars on.
I mean, my dear friend.
With all the things that have happened in this neighborhood, like, come on. We had that murder-suicide right over here.
Yeah. You can stay there now.
It's not for rent yet.
Oh, really?
No, but like there's 2 other houses, like both houses on either side of it have gone up for rent since said dramatic event, and God rest our souls. I'm not being a dick, but nobody, like, why is Is there some sort of law, Wendell? Do you know that? Like, if there's some sort of a crime that occurs in a home, is it uninhabitable for a certain period of time?
Until I think it's like 30 days after full investigation is completed.
Oh, it's been how long? Baby, I was in North Carolina, so yeah, it's been
at least a year.
Yeah, at least. So I don't know. It just says empty. They fixed the window where there was I guess,
An exit.
There was an exit there, but they fixed the window. But it's just sitting there empty. I know that sounds.
Well, that's like Kevin. Do you remember where Tim and Ruth lived? Where they were down at the bottom of the hill.
Oh, right there off. Yeah.
That house next to them, their neighbor died, and he stayed in there for like 4 or 5 days, and they like to have never got rid of that house. It took almost a year and a half, 2 years for them to resell that house.
Well, we got David 2 doors down. It didn't take no time.
Yeah,
But he sat. We have somebody, and I miss him because he was my friend. David was my friend, and now I'm raising 2 of his cats. But he passed in his home, and he was in there. I mean, at minimum 2 weeks. Minimum. I would say a month. I would have to say a month.
If it's natural causes, I don't think there's any wait time. But if there is a crime involved, that's where you get into the wait time. And that's, like I said, rule of thumb is 30 days after completion of investigation.
So that house should be up for rent again. It was a rental to begin with. It should be up for rent now.
Yeah.
Or somebody should be trying to.
Do they have to disclose that?
I think they do.
I think they do too.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Died or that there was a crime.
Either or.
I think either or.
And that's only if you know, though.
Right. But
like, I bought this house and nobody told me that somebody died in it. But so if somebody were to ask me when I go to sell it, I don't know.
Right. I think it's immediate seller. Like if you sell it.
The question, the way they phrase the question is, do you have any knowledge of X, Y, and Z?
Oh, okay.
If you don't, then like I said, nope, I don't know of anything.
No, and I was friendly with because I rented this house before I bought it, and I was friendly with the owner. So I know he would have told me because he knows that I'm a ghost hunter. So I know that he would have mentioned it to me. Dusty would have said something. But he did mention something. A few months after, he's like, I have something for you. It's a protection thing. And he's like, I keep forgetting to mail it to you. And I was like, cool. And he was like, I just know what you do. And I thought you would find it fun. And then I went, wait, what? And I'm going to put.
So then you started researching.
I don't know anything. I don't know if anyone died in here. I know that the people lived here before me got evicted, and they were one of those that got evicted and got destructive. So I know
you can always pull up public records. You can always pull up public records.
It is, but I think they got evicted, and then on their way out, they said and started.
But for all the history stuff, like he's saying, you can pull up the.
Oh.
Yeah, you can pull up the public records, and if anybody had ever died in the house, it would be on the it would be part of the public records.
We need to do that for.
No, because then you'll know. Oh, not for here, but for Harriman.
Yeah, I don't know here. Well, I mean, I could know here, but then I know, and I have to disclose that. And I don't need to know that. So
do it after you move.
Oh, here comes Reese again. She's like the star of the show tonight. At least she's not being scandalous this time.
Is the star
all
day?
All day. She drive-bys. She does drive-bys, and she drive-bys my desk. Like she can't just go from the couch to the corner where that ALEXA is. No, fuck no. She has to go all the way around, across the keyboard, over the ghosts, over the cup with the pens in
And
it,
this is
back
while
behind
working.
the computers, just to come back around, just to stay there for like 2 seconds and then come back down and do the whole damn thing again.
And cat loops. You gotta love it.
Yeah.
So Wendell, what's been up with you, brother?
Oh man, just trying to get ready for moving.
Yeah,
I can't wait to get out of here. And the road that I'm on, the house is like a half a block away from a cemetery on one side, that's by itself, and then it's got a church with a cemetery on the other side. So
Stop it.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I want to play with that.
Poker night has just gotten so much better.
That's right. That's right. So finally, I'll have room to move around for poker nights too.
Yeah, and leave it set up as much as you want.
Hell yeah! If I don't want to take down the tables, I can leave them up. They'll be downstairs. I don't have to fool with it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
This is gonna be. I'm looking forward to the first one out there.
Hell yeah.
Plus, you're close to me finally.
And
Yeah, I'm right down the road from you.
Back but me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm maybe 10 minutes from your house at the most.
Oh, at the most. At the
Yep.
absolute most.
You come up one exit and you turn and left, the first street on the right, and it's a mile and a half down. So
Yeah. No, I could be there in no time. This could be great. It's gonna be better than the 45 minutes and hope you don't hit traffic.
yeah, exactly. Plus, we're wanting to get I'm hoping to get, once I get moved in, I want to get a horseshoe set up so I can do some more of the horseshoe tournaments.
Those were so much fun.
Well, I can always bring my yard Jenga. And my wife has the beautiful cornhole boards that's a hard cornhole boards.
Cornhole boards.
Cornhole boards that she made out of the old ship. Right?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was from teak wood out of an old Grady White boat.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
So
That's
yeah,
cool.
we can't wait.
So Wendell, congrats on that though, brother.
Yes.
I know you got a busy weekend of you, but
And it's so stressful doing all the buying.
Oh my God! Between work and that, man, I told a friend of mine the other day. I said, "I get moved in. I'm having a nervous breakdown. I'm gonna slap shit out of anybody that tries to stop me."
yeah.
It's like, oh my God! But
I don't know.
finally have a shop to work out of too, so that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. You couldn't have gotten a better place, I don't think.
No, I don't either. And like I said, the first time I went in there, it just felt like home. It's right next to it's right next to Carmen Elementary, and I've been over there working, quite a bit during the day, and you can hear those kids out there playing, and that's so much fun to me. I love hearing all that. I don't want to be next to a high school, but I don't mind being next to an elementary school.
No.
Nobody wants to hear all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kids playing skate, though.
So
That's nice. I'm excited for you.
But now I've got a question for you two.
okay.
Mhm.
Somebody hit me with a question a couple weeks ago. They found out that I was doing the ghost hunting stuff and that kind of thing. And they're like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I will punch
What do you mean?
Okay.
And he goes, there's no way you can prove to me that they're ghosts. And, I was like, well, number one, it's a feeling. You can sense it, or I can. If I walk into a place and I feel something, and I'm not a sensitive by no stretch of the imagination, but to me,
I call bullshit.
To me, these non-believers, I love playing with them.
Mm-hmm.
And, they can get as scientific as they want to. And I don't believe in anything I can't see. And I'm like, well, I guess that means that you're not breathing air.
Yeah.
No, what do you mean? I said, well, do you see it?
You don't see the wind either. You just see
I'm like, you can't see any of that, but it's there.
Can't see gravity.
You can see this
Right.
cat
So, but how do you handle somebody that are non-believers, other than tell them to go get screwed and just ignore them?
Yeah.
Well,
I had that. Go ahead.
No, Jinx.
Jinx.
I had my father tell me that I needed to be finding spirits in the Bible, and that what I was doing was ridiculous. And I'm like, okay, look. Okay, I'm looking for spirits in the Bible. So I'm looking for ghosts in the Bible because those people aren't living anymore. None of them people in the Bible are living anymore. Okay, so and God, well, you can't see him, but he supposedly is here, right? Okay, so why don't we believe in ghosts?
So then,
if we believe in God, Mary, Jesus, Mother of Earth, right? Whatever you believe in, I sound sort of dickish right now, but I'm not trying to be a dick. What I'm saying is, like, everybody has their own beliefs. So, but you believe in something you can't see.
I think, Wendell, next time somebody asks you that, I would say, are you a God-fearing person? And if they tell you yes, I think you should say, well, you can't see God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've used that quite a few times. I've got a real good friend of mine from high school, and I'm not trying to insult anybody's religious beliefs or anything like that, but she is so much of a holy roller. And she's one of these that's just overboard with it. And there's nothing wrong with being spiritual or believing in whatever religion you believe in.
Whatever gets you through your day and whatever higher power you believe in.
He freaked out and was talking about, oh, well, I can't believe you're doing that. That's, the work of the devil and this, that, and the other. And I said, well, wait a minute. First of all, I'm a Christian. I've been a Christian all my life.
Dead people.
Second of all,
I'm not looking for dead people.
I'm not afraid of something I can't see. And third, if you believe in God, he's going to protect you against these evil spirits. So, I don't see, you show me somewhere in the Bible where it says to stay away from ghost hunting. Mm-hmm. And I told her flat out, I said, let me tell you something. She goes to that Woodstock Baptist church. Six Flags Over Jesus is what I call it. And they spent $75 million on their sign alone.
It's fucking ridiculous.
I said, you want to talk about something that's a travesty? I was like, just think about it.
To eat.
Yeah, how
many
but you
have a $75 million.
You could have taken and spent $100,000 on a sign, and then $74 million and fed the hungry.
Yep.
Or housed people. So don't talk to me about what's right and what's wrong.
Amen.
That's exactly right.
Amen.
But my comeback to that is depending on where they're coming from. I usually say, well, if you're that opposed to it, there is nothing that I can say that's going to change your mind.
He does say that. I've heard.
There is nothing I can do that's going to change your mind. So I can tell you some cool stuff that's happened, but I'm not.
Wisdom, I have heard that.
I'm not doing that to change your mind.
Right.
Because if you're that one-sided, you're going to stay there.
Yeah, no matter what I do, no matter what I say, no matter what I show you, no matter what you hear,
you're going to
your
debunk
mind
everything.
has convinced yourself that's not true. Whether you're scared or whether it's a religious reason or whatever it is, you've already talked yourself out of it. Mm-hmm. So I can't prove to you anything because you're not.
Well, I think when people use the religious comeback, that's just a cop out.
It is.
They obviously do not know the religion.
Yeah, well, I was totally blown away one time when a priest pulled me aside and he said that I just want you to know that you're doing the work of God. A priest told me that.
Well, we did do an investigation in a church, and
it wasn't that guy that told me this, by the way.
I started to say, you wanted us to be on our best behavior, and our worst behavior was better than their behavior that night.
I warned my team for weeks about we've been invited into a church to do an investigation because they believe they're haunted. And the fact that a church is asking us to come in, this is huge. Holy crap. We got there and they were talking, it was around Halloween, and they were talking about going to the Masquerade Haunted House, which is more nudity than haunted house. And it was like, oh my God, am I listening to this? Out of these high-ranking people at this church, I was like, oh, okay, I don't guess I need to worry about any of y'all. But yeah.
Now, we can. I won't mention the business name, but we investigated a place here in a little bit north of here that was once a church and is now a adult.
Yeah.
Adult store.
Adult store.
A very classy.
It was very classy.
It was classy. Mm-hmm. A classy adult store. But it was once a church.
That was fun.
And they call it was.
It was. It's like if someone's here with us, can you move that dildo? Can you? You remember that, Wendell?
Was that was also the one that Veronica and somebody else got really spooked out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that. I went up there for the initial interview.
Yeah.
And when I got up there, I'm like, "What the hell?"
There was a cat.
It's gonna be challenging.
There's a cat.
Yeah, but that was like, oh my God! Never have you said you see these things swinging, and you're like, yeah, can you swing that there if someone's here?
The big fist one over there. Well,
look, it's moving.
Off the shelf,
it's moving.
Please.
Yeah, that was quite interesting. That's for damn sure.
It really was.
That was fun. I
so
enjoyed
cool,
that.
Though. That building was fun because you could see where the church had been.
With the sanctuary
and the fact that up in the choir loft where the adult movies are now. I mean, spectacular concepts. I'm in love with it. It makes me laugh that she went on and she was like, and it's so fun because she was fun. And the fact that she travels everywhere with her cat, made me love her even more. And has a little door, in the shop upstairs in the parallel, the little door for the cat to go in.
That was a cool place. That was a cool place. Back to, I want to say one thing back to the other, when we were talking about ghost hunting versus religion. In some of the translations of Luke, the book of Luke, when Jesus has resurrected and he comes to the disciples, he walks to them and he says,
your friend is about to burst into flames.
What? Oh, yeah, because I'm quoting scripture. Yeah. If she burns up, I didn't do it.
Look, I already burned.
No, but
once,
he walks to them and he says, look at me, I'm flesh and bone, or flesh and blood. A ghost is not flesh and blood. So if Jesus said that, differentiating himself between a physical body and a ghost, then if they knew it was around, they just didn't talk about it as far as recording the word of God. Because why did they need to? He had so much other stuff. There's so much other things to say. But if he said, come look, I'm flesh and blood. A ghost is not flesh and blood. So it was just so accepted then. So why not?
Right. Well, and that also goes back to when you're dealing with children. Children seem to be more in tune with the ghost or the paranormal or the other side than adults, for the simple reason they haven't been taught that there's no such thing as ghosts.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, we train ourselves in our minds to think certain ways. And the sad part about it, we are making ourselves more narrow-minded than anything else.
Absolutely.
That's just like if you think that we're the only planet that has life form. To me, that's absurd.
It is.
Mhm.
We don't.
You know, we don't
Show
know
me.
what the hell's out there.
The
No
numbers
idea.
alone say that it's almost impossible that we're the only ones.
It has to be.
Well, and you
Yeah.
have like things like the pyramids in Egypt, you know,
Right.
and things of that nature that could never have been done back in that day with the technology they had or the people. Something or a spirit or something had to have a hand in it or assistance.
Oh,
You know, but we live in a world that gets so paranoid about stepping on somebody's toes. Oh, well, we're offended with this and offended with that. I'm sorry. I don't give a damn if I offend you or not. I'm going to tell you the truth. If you like it, fine. If you don't, hey, that's fine too.
That's exactly
So
right.
I really don't give a shit if you believe me about ghosts or not. I believe in it. And I think it's a very intriguing and it's fun to try and figure out what else is there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we only use like 3 to 5% of our brain. Just imagine if by some miracle we could actually use maybe 15% what we could find on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's getting more and more predominant. You know, you got a lot of TV shows that are nothing but Hollywood, but still, with it being Hollywood, it's still getting a message of paranormal out there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the wrong message, but hopefully most people can see through the BS.
I think we need real paranormal show. Like
Oh, I've
where
told Kevin that ever since I've been involved.
I'm not
Yeah.
trying to start any kind of bullshit with anybody. I'm just saying like a paranormal show. Like maybe it's just us that we have somebody on our team who has gas and a lot. And and we're actually claiming our stomach noises. You don't see that shit on TV. Nobody's like, oh yeah, sorry, we had Taco Bell before we came here.
Well, and I don't know if we're allowed to mention names of shows or anything like that, but one of the shows that I watched, they used to make me mad as hell. They did a show and it involved a lot of the Indian burial grounds, and they were going to go in and do this paranormal investigation, and the I can't think of the name of the word. The leaders of the tribe were okay. We only ask that you don't do this, this, and this. And that was the first things the son of a bitch did. And it's like, you know, you're so disrespectful. And they're always bringing out this Ouija board. They did the Amityville Horror House. And he was talking about how dangerous it was. He was going in there with a Ouija board. And whether you believe in it or not, you're setting up a wrong precedence for younger people that see this and admire you to go in and do stuff that could get them in a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nobody out there to call BS on them and go, hey, look, you're just doing this for ratings. In a real scenario, we would never do this. We would never challenge the ghost. I mean, I learned that the second night that I was an investigator. Because I asked Kevin and Tim, I'm like, you know, why don't we go in there and tell it to get the hell out? And y'all explained it to me that, you know, when we leave, the families are still stuck there with them. And, you know, if they don't know they're dead or something of that nature, then you don't want to be insulting them. It's not their fault. We just don't know the situation. Not to mention the one time we did challenge Ghost, I got left pretty, I got drained of all my energy and almost couldn't walk. And I got called a bitch.
Loudly.
What?
Bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, I got called a bitch twice.
Yeah.
That is.
Go ahead.
It's not nice.
No. This, we all, what, 3 or 4 recorders?
Yep.
3 or 4 recorders, because he went in and to preface the story, this was a property that Wendell managed, and no one lived there. It was a location where every year for countless years they would put on a haunted house, and this spirit got a little too friendly with the female workers there. And so Wendell came to me and he said, you know, hey, I'm protective of the people that work here, but especially the girls. And here's what I want to do, and here's how I want to do it. And I said, okay. Because of, even though, so we weren't necessarily doing it like the TV shows.
Right.
We were doing it like putting our foot down.
Right.
Like it was basically taking, you know, this is my house. Like they say, if you have a haunting at your house, you know, you claim your house. This is my house and things like that. So basically he did that to the nth degree. But then later, his team was going down the stairs, and you were drained before even that. Because when you got to the bottom of the stairs, we were filming this investigation so we could put it up on the big screen as people were waiting to come into the haunted house. They could watch us investigating it that night, or the night that we did. Wendell knows that we're investigating. He gets to the bottom of the stairs and takes off his shirt. He was so drained. And then you hear, who's the bitch? So,
because I told him when I was walking through, I'm like, look, quit being a little bitch and picking on our girls here. If you want to mess with somebody, I'm right here. I'm not hiding from you. Come on out. You know, you're real tough with a couple of 16, 17-year-old little girls, but I'm not afraid of you. So come on. And, you know, I did that 2 or 3 times throughout the house. And then when we started downstairs, that's what you heard was, who's the bitch now? And at first, when one of our old guys, Adam, was the first one to listen to his thing, and he caught it, and he called Tim, and Tim called me and said, hey, do you think he would, you know, make this up? And I'm like, I wouldn't think so. But I went and checked my recorder, and I caught it. And then Kevin caught it on his recorder. So it was like, well, he didn't have access to all these others. And it was clearly a voice that was not in the group with us.
Yeah, it was a different voice altogether. But it sounded like in everybody's recorder, it sounded like he was saying it into that recorder.
Right.
And some of the recorders were across the room, like already downstairs. And yeah, it was, I mean, you could almost
remember Jesse got pushed off the rail.
Yeah.
Jesse was sitting on one of the rails in one of the rooms, and all of a sudden something pushed her. It was a 2x4 wall that separated our actors from the crowd. And they were sturdy because people used to climb on them and hang on them and that kind of stuff. So Jess had sat down and was sitting on that wall.
And she got hit in the gut.
They hit her in the gut and pushed her right off the wall, right down on the floor.
Yep.
And that's when we also found out that black pants in the infrared lights make it look like you're not wearing anything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was so funny. People coming in and being like, hey, look, it's that girl that was naked.
That's what it looks like. It really does. And like if you're doing like, you know, a lot of us wear black when we are investigating. And yeah, it looks different.
When she had on black leggings, so
it was
worse.
And they're because they're like skin tight, so it looks like you're wearing nothing. Exactly, I get it. You know,
and Jess was at that time.
It's questionable,
She was the one that told the rules when you come in the first room. We had what we call the holding room. They would tell you all the rules going through the house, and we were showing these videos outside on a big screen. So when they come in, they'd see her and go, "Oh, you're the girl that's out there that's not wearing anything." And Jess was like, what the hell are they talking about? I'm like, I don't know. She went out there and saw that screen. She was about ready to kick my butt. I was like, I didn't know. I've been on the backside.
I mean, it was huge too. Well, I mean, that screen was as big as that wall.
You just say,
She told that story the night that you had to leave early.
Yeah.
She told that story about being on the big screen with no pants on.
Oh man, that was hilarious. But that house was very intriguing. We caught a lot of different sounds and voices and stuff of that nature. And a lot of times people go, "Oh, well, you were just making all this stuff up to draw attention to the haunted house part." And it's like, no, I don't have to do that. I can make up all kinds of yarns for that.
All right.
And, that used to be our biggest thing is I'd ask some of the people, I'm like, "Well, did you hear about the man that got killed back there? He chopped up 4 or 5 people and blah, 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 blah." And they're like, "Oh, what was his name?" I said, "I don't know. I hadn't made him up yet." And they look at me and go, "Okay, did somebody do that or not?" I said, "I don't know." But I keep my eyes open. And it's the not knowing that used to make people get scared quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that holds true with paranormal investigating. It's not knowing that makes people either more anxious or more nervous or whatever. And a lot of these non-believers, they're afraid of finding out the truth. They're afraid to find out that, hey, there's something else on the other side watching us or, observing us or trying to talk to or communicate with us. And I think that's very evident with a lot of these non-believers is they're just flat out chickens.
So I think you're right. And so my daughter went to a Christian academy from essentially the time she was 2 until she was in the 8th grade. And I say that because my daughter is a believer. She wears a cross around her neck. When we moved into an apartment, she took the necklace off because her good friend bought her a necklace for Christmas, and she wanted to wear that necklace. Well, that cross flew across her room somehow. There was all kinds of things that went on in that bedroom. And, one of the things I've always done is I always had a cross that was given to me when she was born. And I always kept it hanging on her bedroom window. Well, I'm telling you all this because whenever I moved, I gave her a lot of things that were packed that she didn't unpack because of college, and now she's got her own place. She unpacked some things. Well, they put that cross by the front door. And all kinds of things were going on, like the gas light blew out, something else went on, and different things. And she's calling, going, "I don't know what's going on. Oh my goodness." And there was another item that was her granddaddy's, who she adored. I said, "Margot, they were always in your bedroom." And Amy's like, "Tell her she's got to take and put them where she's always kept them." And she did. And there's not been anything going on since. I think it was her granddaddy because there was she hadn't unloaded that box, and I said, "I think it's your granddaddy."
I mean, those are the protection. It's protection, and it's supposed to be me or her when she's
her nickname was Angel.
Well, and that's kind of like when both my parents passed away.
Her nickname was Angel, and her girlfriend's name is Angel.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
There's a lot of things.
A lot of little. Yeah, that's awesome. What's that, Wendell?
I said when my parents passed away, we did the investigation mainly after my dad passed, and I think it was a little bit too soon for me when we did it to begin with. But at the same time, what was the priest that come over there?
Benedict.
Was it Scott? Huh?
Benedict.
Benedict, right? And he come over there and they did the blessing and all that, and he left me the holy water and all. And I kept it in the bedroom for the longest time, and nothing happened. And we moved it to somewhere else. I forget what it was. And within 2 or 3 days, I started hearing voices again. And, I had to have Kevin and Tim and a couple of the others remind me, hey, do not put a name with it. Don't just assume it's your parents. No matter what they say or what they do, we don't know that's exactly who it is. And that was one of the hardest things for me because I just felt like it was. I felt like it was my dad. Or if it was a joke, I felt like it was my mom. And that's just a hard thing to handle. And when you got personal things like that, I think that like what's the doll's Annabelle? Look at what has transpired with that one little doll, and I know a lot of it has been blown up for movies and stuff, but there's a lot of truth behind it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and you came away from that though with your wording on that because like we talked about at length was not knowing exactly what was there, but the takeaway was well but was regardless it was scaring your daughter.
Right, and Karen, I mean, Karen was
Yeah.
freaked the hell out. Well,
Yeah,
and Justin was sitting there the day that the hat went flying across the room, and he almost ran through the door.
Yeah. And you, I mean, but your phrasing to that, towards the end of it all was like priceless with, mom, dad, if this is you, I love you, but you can't stay here because you're scaring the family.
Right.
And so I love you, but I'll see you again
It's
in
time
heaven.
to move. It's time to move on. Right.
Yeah. And so,
And
it was.
I know I invite a lot of that stuff too by like the comments that I make. I want to kick a demon in the nuts and all that kind of crap. Most of that's just humor, but I'm not afraid of facing a demon. I have that much faith in my beliefs, number one, and myself, number two. I don't. They might make me hurt myself, but I don't see them being able to hurt me. Them, just them. So with that being said, I get careless sometimes, and I'll be the first one to admit it. Especially if I've got like God, what was her name, Catherine. When I had Catherine and Veronica on my team, I was in a completely different mode. They were both young, pretty girls that were susceptible to a lot of stuff. And when they started getting messed with, that's hey, no, you're crossing the line now. I don't care if we were supposed to taunt or not. You leave them two girls alone.
Mm-hmm.
And Tim got mad at me and that was at that one shop that we were talking about earlier. Because I went back in there, he goes, "You can't do that." I said, "The hell I can't. Watch me." Well, you're not supposed to. I don't care what I'm supposed to do. You're not going to mess with that little girl. That's just me, and that's never going to change. So,
No, you're definitely the protector. So, what was, and I know I've asked this before, and I think we started to talk about this when you were on the show, but you had to leave. Your favorite investigation that you've done with us?
Oh, that's easy. That was up there in Adair's, up above Adairsville. The Fenster House was just a phenomenal investigation from start to finish. It had everything possible. It had comments being made from things that we couldn't see. It had humor with the guys that was doing the video. It had, intrigue. It had suspicion. It had, like the glow in the dark paintings that we found down in that basement where they did the underground church. I mean, it was so many different things that it was just all wrapped up into one. And I would love to get back in that place again.
Oh, your phone moved. There we go. Yeah, I would too. I would too. That was, for my dad to see, shadow figures crawling across the floor.
Right.
And yeah, if I bring that up ever to him, he's like, "Oh yeah, the shadow creeper or the shadow. What's he call them? He doesn't call them shadow people. It may be shadow creepers." But he said playing peekaboo with us.
Right. Right. And I mean, it wasn't just once or twice; it was multiple times. The shadow figures that you and Tim went down to the down in the garden, and we're sitting there watching this thing poke its head out from behind one of the columns, and you go on one side and Tim's on the other, and there's nothing there. All of a sudden, it was gone.
Yeah,
and
surrounded it. Nothing there.
But like I said, that was probably one of the most intriguing investigations that I ever went on. And a lot of that too was when we got down in the basement and we found all the writings and the dates, and it looked like where people had died, and they put the dates on it with this glow in the dark paint. And the only way you could see it was a light shining a certain way, and it hit that big cross and then bounced across those names. That was just so cool.
That was
that was pretty cool. And then the La Familia was another one, but that was because that was my first one. Yeah. And at that time, we had 3 teams: one on the basement, one on the main floor, and one upstairs. And I think the thing that made that stand out so much was it was me, your dad, and Casey, and I can't remember who else was on our team, but Casey, had that putting machine up there in the attic. And Casey rolled that ball into the little putting block and said, "Okay, if something's here, roll it back." And I looked over at your dad. I said, "That ball comes back, all we're going to see is asses in the bottom of his sneakers all the way up to Roswell." And your dad got tickled, and he started laughing loud, and he couldn't stop. But that was probably my second favorite.
Yeah, that was a good investigation, though. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. The one with the little girl down there where we had the barbecue restaurant.
Yes, forever.
That was a good one.
That was a good one because, that one taught us, and at the time, we were a team that had 10 years plus of experience. Right. And we got in there and, I don't want to say fine-tuned it because we fine-tuned it in the wrong direction, but this is where we figured that out, was that, we were so good at coming up with what could make it non-paranormal.
Right.
We debunked they had in the tub, there was the little filter thing, like chrome filter that snaps into the drain to keep the hair from going into it. And that came up missing for like 2 months and then came back. And we even debunked that because they found on one of the toys that the little daughter played with in the bathtub, they found a mark above its foot to where it had been put into that drain and turned so it could pop out the drain cover. And so, and being a little kid with something shiny, she popped it out, played with it for a while, and put it back. And so, but the buttons on the cooking unit in the toys in the kids' room, she had these really elaborate drawings that look like they came out of the 5th dimension or something. Mm-hmm. They were just gorgeous patterns and stuff. And they're like, where is she getting this from? And there was a murder close by. And so they were thinking that she had an imaginary friend that she happened to call the name of the guy who was murdered or something like that. And so all these little coincidences came together, and then she started drawing these really elaborate patterns. They were gorgeous, but they were kind of creepy. Mm-hmm. We debunked that because one of the investigators, the team was outside and going by the window, and it's at night. So their lights illuminated through a sun catcher and made that pattern on the wall of the. So she was drawing the pattern that she saw on the wall from the reflection coming through the window.
Okay.
So we debunked. No matter how crazy their claim was, we were able to say, well, there's Coke. We found Coke down in the buttons of the child's toy. And so that can hold the buttons where they're just almost making contact. Soon as the temperature changes, it's going to go in one direction or another because as things heat up or cool, they expand.
Right.
And everything. And, when I don't know, I'm more of the trying to stay right in the middle. But I was like, I can't argue with the fact that we were able to talk about everything that they talked about. And so, it was like, I don't think you have anything to worry about. We didn't get any evidence that night. I think that it's just this and this and this and this. And they're like, okay. So what, 2 weeks later, she called us up and said the toy went off again in the kids' room and she was pissed. And she's like, get out of my effing house in the name of Jesus. You're not welcome here. Get out. And every light in between the kids' bedroom, every light in between the kids' bedroom and the door that ended up slamming blew in progression. Pow,
right.
Pow, 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 slam.
Ooh.
And so we're like, oh, holy fuck.
Shit.
So that's when we had to call Father Benedict again.
Yeah. Yep.
Whoopsie.
And and so that's when it was like, okay, guys, we have to do our due diligence with debunking, but we also have to say, but is there room for this to still be paranormal?
Always.
And so
always.
Yep. So then we had to
the bad part was we had a couple investigators that were like Leonard. They were like Spock. Everything had to be analytical.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't see the gray area. All right. Then you had a couple of us that saw the gray area and weren't as analytical. And so quick to say, yeah, there's a logical answer for this to happen. Sometimes there's just not a logical answer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the things that separated our team from a lot of the others is we had such a variety of mindsets and ages and groups and that stuff.
Sometimes things that can be proven as debunked can still be paranormal.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You can have a I don't know. I'm just gonna pick something random. Like say you have a wooden bell, right? Okay, and sometimes it shifts and stuff on your shelf. Well, yes, that can be like moisture, whatever.
Or it could be off center just enough that the temperature changes and it flops this way and makes it dawn.
Right, on your whatever. And it's not, or it
could be
paranormal. I mean, shit, anything can be, I play the game, and you used to have played. The game, is it a ghost or is it a cat?
Mm-hmm.
And
well, that's like when they found the cat. When they found the Coke and the sticky residue that made the noise, and I was there. I unplugged the machine, and it still made a noise. And I'm like, okay. Your idea of the stickiness is very valid, but it's still not supposed to have any sound coming out of it when the damn thing's unplugged.
No.
So
my daughter, who is no longer with us, had it's a stick horse. Is that what you call that?
Oh, that's a stick horse.
It's a stick horse.
Isn't that what it's called? The riding stick horses?
Yeah. Yeah.
That you never see anymore in toy stores?
No, but we went to my daughter. She was like a baby. She was like maybe a year old. So maybe No, she was probably a year old. So I flew to Oklahoma because my grandmother passed away, and she was being buried in Oklahoma. So we had to fly. All of us had to fly out to Oklahoma. So anyway, she was a baby. So my mother, my adopted mother that lives out there, gave her a stick horse, and it had batteries. You put batteries in it, and it was it'll look inappropriate for me, but it was pretty good size, okay, and it was probably about this big around, and it was furry, right? And it had a furry head, not like the stick horse I had in the 70s, you know, that was actually like a stick, like a mop stick with a plastic head, and you had reins. You had reins too, you know. You had to have and hair. You had the string hair, right? Okay. Well, Haley's had batteries, and so it would do all this like and all this. It was annoying as fuck. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so my mother gives it to her. So now I have to fly back from Oklahoma to Atlanta with this fucking stick horse, right? And a baby. Yeah, by myself. So anyways, the stick horse. Let me fast forward. Okay, so that stick horse, Haley was probably, Zach was born, but he was probably 2, which would make Haley close to 7. Okay. I had never changed the batteries in it. And at one point it had died. Like you could tell it was dying, and it started going well, you know, and I and it sounded like that. You know how it sounds when it's dying, right? And I was like, you know what? I hate this toy, and it's just gonna die. I'm not going to let on that you can't actually change the batteries if I really wanted to. But I would have to unscrew part of its head and shit and whatever. But I wasn't going to fucking do that because it was annoying, okay? There's some other toys I can put up with. It was just really loud, okay? So let's fast forward. Like, I don't know. Haley comes and she goes, Mom, that horse is making noise. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And she said, you know my stick horse that I got in Oklahoma when I was little? And I was like, yeah, it's dead. And she said, no, it's not. And I went, no, wait, what? I'm sorry, what? Dead. Yeah. And I was like, what do you mean? Did they do that like slow? Like maybe it just had just a bit of life, just a bit left, right? It went, You know, she was like, oh no, it was like, like it was fully charged. And I was like, no. And she was like, okay. And went on about her business. So I'm down doing laundry. Okay. So this house was like weirdly like 4 levels. And so I'm on like 1 floor, which was the garage level, doing laundry. A few steps down was the basement where said stick horse lived. Okay. I'm doing the laundry. Kids are upstairs. Their dad's upstairs, and I'm doing the laundry, right? And I hear, I was like, fuck no. No, sir. No, ma'am. Whoever you are, this is my house. We're not going to have that here. Whatever that is needs to go back to wherever it came from, because no, we're not doing that. I let that horse die a long time ago. Let dead horses be dead, okay? I didn't pull it out. I don't want to talk to it. It's fine. We let it go. But that was about the time that my son was little, and my son saw stuff when he was a baby, and saw stuff when and still sees stuff because he said something about that house he's in right now.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, so he's always seen stuff. So like the activity pack. So about the time he was bornish is about the time that the horse resurrected. You know, he was probably like re-erected.
Damn it. Damn the horse.
Resurrected. But yeah, so we're talking about the toys. So I get a little freaked out about that shit because I had one. Haley also had an Elmo. That Elmo is still in this house.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
Is it still talking?
It's still talking.
Do y'all remember y'all remember those little Furbies?
If Haley was still alive right now, she would be 23, almost 24. Okay. That thing's still talks and it still says her name.
Oh.
But it says it like this. Elmo loves you, Haley. Just like that.
Yeah, no. Or you could
Do you remember the Furbies?
Yes.
Those things last forever too.
Yeah.
What's that one?
And if you put them together, they really go crazy.
Right. They talk.
Munchie, so soft and cuddly. Remember that little thing?
No.
That thing. And I had one of those. I wish I had one now, Teddy Ruxpin. I'm gonna be.
I had a Teddy Ruxpin.
Those things were possessed.
Store, honey.
They were possessed.
Yes.
They looked like they were possessed. It reminded me of the toys from that movie, Demonic Toys.
Yep.
She's going over.
Yeah.
Wendy had a turtle.
A turtle?
When she was a baby, we got her this turtle that would light up in different colors and it'd make different sounds. And me and Karen was in the bed and had the monitor on, and we hear Wendy in there jabbering to somebody, and the turtle was going on. So we got up and went in there, and I'm like, Wendy, who are you talking to? She said, Grandpa, Papa Dick. Well, that was Karen's dad. And he died when she was about 5 months old. So she never really got to meet him.
Mm.
We didn't even know she knew his name. And she's like, yeah, I was talking to Grandpa Papa Dix, and that damn turtle started going off. And every time she would mention his name, the turtle would start lighting up. So I'm like, all right, man, this turtle's getting on my damn nerves. So I finally just took the batteries. I took the batteries out. I mean, just took them out. And about 2 weeks after that, we had it in the den where the fireplace was downstairs. And that thing started lighting up. And I grabbed it by the damn head and threw it out in the fucking trash can and said, the hell with this. So that turtle disappeared forever. And Wendy asked about it once or twice afterwards. And I'm like, I don't know what happened to it. I guess it swam off.
It swam off.
Whoopsie. I had this. Okay, so I saw Poltergeist at a very young age that I probably shouldn't have. But that's why I do what I do now. Okay, so that's my all-time favorite movie. Like, hands down, the music, everything. It brings it all. And it was a very 80s.
Very 80s.
But it was still something that stuck in my head. But anyways, fast forward. We all know the clown pulls the kid under the bed, right? Full-size clown. Like child-size clown. So I'm in like 3rd grade. So I had seen the movie and, I had been reading since I was like in 1st grade, reading ghost books in the library. Grade, yeah. Like I was always reading the ghost books. But so I had seen that movie, I think on HBO. I don't think my parents knew what it was, but I watched it anyway, whatever. So fast forward to like 3rd grade. So I guess my grandmother wanted me to be younger than what I really was. And so she had, for Christmas, she had made me a hand-sewn life-size clown. Mm-hmm. And it was like stuffed and had a face and like it even like had fingers like sewn. I'm like, yeah, my whole body is like in that like ick right now. I can see its outfit. I can see its balls. And I say, like, it had like she had sewn those. You know how clowns have those like puffy like yarn balls. You know what I mean? It had like 3 of those on the front, and it had. Anyway, it had a bow tie and like a real red cheesy, and then the fucking hat and the hair. Oh my god. So anyways, I open up this box because she had mailed it to me because she didn't live there, and I was like,
return to sender.
okay. What? Okay, so I was supposed to like take a picture with it, take a picture for grandma, and you're like, and so that night, you put all your Christmassy things in your room, and like had some like new like Barbie pony or some bullshit, I don't know. And like, I had a Cabbage Patch that year. So I was all about that. But then I had this, yeah. So that night I went to bed and I woke up and I looked over and there was that fucking clown. I was like, fuck no. And I did probably say that. I don't think I said that.
You may have.
Then I probably did.
Probably
Who
did.
knows? I think I was born saying that in my past life. But like, so I put that thing out in the garage, right? Put it out in the garage, shut the door, locked it. Great. The next morning, I wake up, the fucking thing's in my room. I was like, what? Nah, bro. So I was like, so I was like, whatever, it's fine. I'm just, no. I need a paper towel.
Go get paper towel. I'll talk to Wendell.
Yeah.
Her left paw's wet.
Yeah, well, it's in my
There's the computer and everything. Where the cat go across the computer?
Yeah.
You try to come back across the computer, and then when it went to change directions, it like knocked over her drink. So yeah, there's like liquid everywhere.
She's apologizing.
Yeah,
laughing.
she followed her in there, and she won't be quiet now. But
it's funny that she talks about clowns because at the haunted house, there were two things people always said, ask if they were in there. Do you have chainsaws? Do you have clowns? And clowns was a bigger fear than anything else. You could have snakes, you could have zombies, you could have anything else in there. It didn't bother them near as bad as a clown.
Okay.
I don't doubt it.
Do y'all remember back in the day that haunted house that was over there off of 285 and almost to 75? And it used to be right there by Baby Doe's. Was that Baby Doe's right there? You remember? Yeah, it was Baby Doe's.
Yeah, that was Baby Doe's.
Okay, and right below it, they had an old like building that they had a haunted house in. I'm gonna say 93. 93, 92, 93, 94, somewhere around there. And it was like in an old building. And now there's a dealership there, like a Nissan dealership.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But, okay, so I don't do haunted houses. No. I will go sun all day. I will go into an abandoned building. I will allegedly go into a building I'm probably not supposed to.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I'm a tour guide at 2 haunted hospitals, right? I will go hunt with y'all all day long, right? I'm not scared of that.
But no haunted house.
But I don't do haunted houses, and
that's because you've never been with me.
It's okay. It's first of all, I don't like the chainsaw effect, and I cried. I was like, I think I was a senior in high school, and I went to that one, and I cried. So yeah, it would have been 92, and I cried because I was so scared, and I don't like that. And I will do real haunted houses, real ones, all day long. But your fake ones, that's the perfect place for someone to lose their fucking mind and start chopping you into pieces. People are going to be like, oh, wow, that looked realistic. Yeah, because it was. And you're next. No thanks.
I have been working on a little movie type thing, a script, where it's based around a haunted house. And a group of teenagers go in. There's 18 of them that go in. And each room they lose another teenager. And at the end of the I hadn't got all the way through, but the way I want to have it ending is where there's one left to tell the story.
Oh.
Let's do it like ups.
It's but Amy, you should go to a haunted house with me.
You need to go with him.
Because my whole thing going through other people's haunts
and I both
scaring the actors.
Oh, he'll scare the shit out of the actors.
I love scaring their actors.
Malcolm, with you, I guess. But
'Cause he
somebody
knows
better
all
have
the-
I'm taking a knife.
Have you ever seen the movie that's got Captain Spaulding in it?
Oh,
You know, it's what is it?
Texas
House
Chainsaw.
of a Thousand Corpses.
Is part of the Rob
And
Zombie.
the guy, his name is Captain Spaulding, and he's bald headed, and he wears kind of a clown makeup. And I used to do him a lot when I was acting, and I used to do that and Charles Manson. We used to do a Helter Skelter room, and it's all about the attitude. And it was funny because a lot of my guys were 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 300-pounders. And yeah, they'll startle people. But with me and my size, I would have them crying and peeing on the floor.
Then
And it was all about just, it's a mental thing.
Yeah, it really is.
Karen can't go through. I took Karen to one up in Helen, and this girl was doing, she was acting like the girl from The Ring. And she started toward Karen, and Karen started freaking out. And that girl chased her all over that place.
Oh, no.
And I told Karen, I said, you work at a haunted house. All you got to do is just stop. If you stop and ignore her, she'll go away. As long as you keep running, she's going to chase you.
Yep.
Yeah, that guy chased me.
Oh, I point out
and I was
people.
crying. And I was like 8. No, I was 17. I hadn't graduated. I was 17 and I cried. But I will hunt a ghost all day long. But I'm not going in my house.
No, when we did the haunted house up there in I forget where it was, but because it took forever to get there. But this past year, and the guy came past me. Yep, and he started the chainsaw and came at me, and I was like, "No, they're right down there." And he came past me, said thanks, and took off chasing the people that were going to run. So if you're just you and you're just like, "No, go," they're right there.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, the last time I went to one, I was 17, and now I'm a little older.
A little bit.
But you are right. A haunted house is a perfect setting for somebody to go nuts. One of the rooms I had designed.
Here we go. It is the perfect time, and it's gonna take a minute before
people catch on.
Yeah, and I was actually thinking, I'm like, I have these weird irrational fears, and that's one of them. And maybe is it irrational? Not really. If you think about it, that is the perfect setting for someone to completely lose their shit.
Well, and that's why people are afraid of clowns. They don't know what's behind the makeup.
Right. Yep. It's going to take a minute before people are like aware of what's really happening in a haunted house, and people are actually really getting killed. People are really dying. It's not just a joke. It's not good graphics. It's not good blood. It's
well, you could even do like the first little bit of your movie setting would be to have it where they're actually, instead of having it staged, they're actually killing people in front of the audience, and the audience was freaking out because of how real it is.
Yeah, and then they move you on into the next room, and then meanwhile you actually have dead people.
Towards the end of the season, then people start in your one group of your main story. They start disappearing by one.
Well, what I tried to do with our haunted house, especially when I was doing it with the JCs, was we always had a public service announcement somewhere in there. Don't do drugs. We do a room where people were shooting up and stuff of that nature, and they would get killed, and the demons would come and take them away. We did don't drink and drive. We had a F700 front end of a truck, and it sounded like you heard somebody walking across. They were at a party, and he's like, "Oh, I'm out of here," and they're like, "You shouldn't drive. You had too much to drink." Well, the next thing you hear is him walking across the gravel, and the crowd's all in the dark. And he's like, "I can't believe they're going to try and stop me. That's bullshit. I can drive." And then you hear the truck crank up, and then all of a sudden you hear all these brakes squealing. And we had the front end of a truck that would swing out at the crowd with the headlights going right in their eyes.
It would come down.
The last thing that they saw and heard was, "This is a public service announcement from the Roswell JCs. Please don't drink and drive." We did all kinds of stuff like that. We did one on teen suicides. And I stopped that one because it got too real, too personal. It was a good message, and that and anti-bullying. I can't stand a bully. I never have and never will. We did several things like that. And you can tie that stuff in because these kids, especially the ones that were working the haunted house, didn't realize it, but they were actually learning a lot of personal skills on how to deal with people in the real world. Mm-hmm. Because we had 50, 60 people, we were, all putting on this haunted house, and everybody had to work together. If they didn't, it wouldn't work. So they were learning a lot too. And that's why we tried to throw those in to help these kids, show them that, hey, you don't have to go out and get stupid to have a good time.
Well, and it ended up being, that was a alcohol-free, a drug-free environment. I mean, how many people you got, off of that? Some people that were seriously in the drug lifestyle and came out.
Well, like Tubison. Tubison was so bad in the drugs, it wasn't even funny. And, he'll tell you, we whipped his ass up there at the haunted house. And he got off the stuff, and he's been off of it ever since. And that probably saved his life. And, I did it for 37 years and would love to do one more. But the main reason I did it was because of the soft spot I have for teenagers and young people. We got enough bad crap in the world as it is. And, that's something else that the paranormal groups can do as well. Because we don't know that much about what's on the other side. We don't know how somebody's feeling.
I don't care if you have a TV show; it doesn't make you an expert.
Absolutely not. I told Kevin, I said, we need to go around and follow this one group of idiots that had their own show and just debunk them, because they were a group of idiots that were teaching kids the wrong way to do this stuff, and they were setting them up to get hurt. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, all we got to do is just follow them around and say, hey, look, guys, these guys are idiots. They ain't got a clue as to what they're talking about. There's some good shows, but there's one main one that he's the biggest ass that I've ever seen, number one. Number two, he has no respect for anybody else. I told you to put a and I'd like to meet him just one time so I could punch him in the throat.
All right, just let your shirt.
So,
yeah, I hear you.
But just because you get to see everyone gets to see your face on TV and you're doing this, we're all learning. None of us are experts. None of us are experts, because how do we really, really, really prove until we're there?
That's it.
One day to circle back around to the thing we started the show with. It doesn't matter how good of evidence you get.
I gotta finish the clown.
There's got to be someone that you can't prove it to a skeptic. Mm-hmm. And so,
but that's what I'd say. Also, we've only scratched the surface, and I think like I said, we only use 3%, 4% of our brain. If we can figure out a way to tap into some of those other resources or other percentages, there may be a way to prove what's on the other side. We may be able to see that, sense that, talk to it, whatever. There may be cameras that can actually get those pictures. We just haven't found them yet. And we can do this for 50 years, but it's kind of like my business, doing plumbing. I see stuff. I've been doing it for 35 years, and I learn stuff all the time. I'm seeing something new all the time. Same way with paranormal. You can say you're an expert all you want to, and you can be very knowledgeable about it, but we are just scratching the surface. 30 years ago, you never heard of a ghost hunter.
Well, you did, but it was a little bit incognito 30 years ago. Absolutely.
Right. It was not accepted by the public, period.
No. But it was there.
Look at the churches. And especially the Catholic churches. One of the scariest movies, you was talking about, the movie that scared you, one of the scariest movies to me was The Exorcist. and watching that.
Then watching The Exorcist with my son, who is an adult now. He's been an adult for a long time, but when he was like 4,
What?
Mother of the Year. I was watching that because you know how like the one channel shows you like in October every different things every night, like a scary movie, right? So this was actually night. Well, I had been at this not this couch, but this coffee table, and doing a pumpkin for work because I worked in a pediatric office and we made pumpkins for a contest every year. So you can't carve it, you just have to like decorate it. So I'm sitting there like hot gluing and I'm watching The Exorcist sitting on the floor at this coffee table. And there was a fire going in the fireplace. This was the house that was built in the 50s. And that's the one where I lived in that house when I met you. But anyway, so we were sitting there and the fire was going and the movie was on and there was a little rocking chair. He had a little rocking chair. And he sits down with his anyway, he had a blankie and he called it Kiki. So he had like
gonna be mad.
Kiki over his shoulder, right? Like he had Kiki.
Like
he's
that.
in his jammies and he has like he's
his
in
jammies
Halloween jammies with his Kiki over his shoulder, right? And he's like sitting there and he's like rocking and he's watching and it's about the time where her head starts to spin around and the pea soup and all that.
Right. Come flying out.
And Haley's over here and Haley's like, Mom. And I'm like, oh, well, whoopsie. And Zach, just as clear as day, like turns around to me in this little chair and he says, Mama, it's not always like that. Turns back around and keeps watching, and I went, oh. I'm sorry, what did I said, maybe everyone needs to go to bed now. And Zach's like, I'm still watching. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have CPS knocking on my door because I'm letting my 4-year-old watch
my dad.
The Exorcist.
I was in my teens, and my dad walked in, and The Exorcist was coming on, and he's like, "Turn that off." And then I was like, "But it's like the best scary movie ever."
I was 7 watching Poltergeist.
He said, "Turn that off." My dad, of course, being in his background, he's like, there are more people that movie has fucked up. I mean, my dad being a minister didn't say fucked up, but he's like,
right.
That movie has messed up more people. You don't need to be watching it. And I was like, and of course, me being the good son that I am, I turned it off and put on Poltergeist or something. But
much better.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the things that kind of freaked me out about it was I had a few friends that were big into the Catholicism. And they were talking about, after we watched this movie and we were talking about the priests and all this other stuff. And they're like, oh, yeah, the Catholic Church is, we're not doing any more exorcisms and all this other stuff. And it was such a big battle with the Catholic Church for a long time. And they didn't want to admit to it, but then they didn't want to say, no, we won't help you. So they were in such a turmoil. And it's like, okay. You trying to do good or bad? What you trying to do? Make up your mind. Quit worrying about a damn image, But but stuff like that could be real. What was the one with Mr. Gordy?
That was
Georgia.
Haunting in Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah, that was another one. As far as a movie goes, wasn't exactly what I'd call a decent movie. It was very poorly shot, but as having a little bit of background on the story, I found it very interesting to watch. Mm-hmm. And there have been several little movies that come through like that really have triggered my mind about how we go about doing things and looking for evidence
right
for paranormal.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I actually got to investigate with them, and met them several times. And we had they didn't, understandably so, because they lived through the story, and the story was because they were involved.
The Mr. Gordy one?
Yeah, they were involved in a lot of that. So they got at least the stories, part of the story, pretty accurate.
Right.
But Tim and I talked about it. And
right.
We had a totally different take on what the haunting was than they did. And boy, they didn't. And again, they lived through this. So I'm not trying to change. I wasn't there. So I'm not trying to change what they believe is the truth. But we looked at Mr. Gordy as like the catalyst. He was the imaginary friend that wasn't an imaginary friend that you invited into your house. And that, because they said that, once everything started, Mr. Gordy was gone.
Do you have to invite them?
It doesn't. It sure helps.
Well, didn't they find out that there was another entity there? One of the guys that worked at the sawmill or something like that?
I don't think you have to invite
them. Well, I don't think you have to, but if you do, then that's the
worse.
easiest way.
Yeah, that's probably worse.
But we were thinking that it was that was like your intro character, your intro persona.
Right.
Your intro personality.
The catalyst?
No, it took on this old man that they could prove was an old man, because they documented, they found his burial, they found his picture.
Okay.
She backed up that that's who I'm seeing.
Okay.
But we're not necessarily convinced. And again, I'm not going against them. It's just what we think.
Right.
But that it assumed this innocent-looking persona
of this man, and it was something completely.
Yeah, and so everything
demonic,
that happened,
or was it just a dark?
It was pretty demonic. I won't define it just because I wasn't there.
Okay.
It was dark either way.
Right, but it wasn't just like, because if you're, pardon my French, but if you're a dick in your human life, you're probably still going to be a dick when you're dead. So
it could have been several different.
This I'm not a dick anymore. I don't think that really happens. You're still going to be like a grumpy ghost.
Yeah. So it could have been, the Mr. Gordy was the nice spirit, and then you had the guy that was the sawmill, and then it progressed into like this ickiness. It could have been that.
I hate it when you say that.
Ickiness?
Yes, I hate that.
What?
I hate it when you say that.
It's right up there with moist.
Moist doesn't bother me. Ickiness.
What?
There's another word you say.
I'm sure you'll let me know. Can I finish my fucking story?
As long as you don't use ickiness.
Yeah. Could be.
That, exactly what Wendell said. Don't say it again. Don't keep saying it. Just continue your story. Stop it.
But so we have this cast of spiritual characters where one could be the good, and then as she's becoming more in tune with seeing this, it could be that now we've got one that's kind of not so good, and then we end up with one that's really bad. Could be. But it also could be that the good one is your introductory character. Non-icky. That gets your comfort level up.
Not really.
No, it does. As long as it's not icky, it's very comfortable. So, but then that evolves then into and it goes into, more and more and more of the holy shit, what the fuck's going on? But it's the same spirit, the same whatever.
Just less icky.
Now you're saying it. Cool.
I hate you.
Well, and Amy made a point that if you were a dick when you're alive, you're probably a dick when you're a ghost.
Absolutely.
But I think
I'm not
no,
gonna,
I think
I'm gonna turn
that
into
could
like
be altered.
sweet little strawberry shortcake when I die.
Probably not.
Hell no.
Well,
It's
you
not.
know,
Come on.
I think also it depends on what your life's like.
I'm
Yeah.
If you're miserable, if you're miserable when you're alive, or you're hurting, say, I have rheumatoid arthritis, so a lot of days I'm hurting. When you die, if that pain goes away, you might not be such an ass when you're a ghost. You might be Casper.
You might be. Can I make you a sandwich?
Hold on. Let me give you cookies. I got cookies. I'll make you those cookies.
But who knows? But if somebody's like a grumpy old man, it's probably gonna be a grumpy old man.
Right. If you're the get off the lawn man when you die in your house or whatever, you're gonna be the get off my lawn man in your house when someone else moves in.
Break it down even further. Why are they grumpy?
Right.
When you're alive. Now that they're dead, are circumstances still similar?
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. If you were in a miserable home or, in a lot of pain all the time, maybe that's why you were grumpy. Maybe you lost your loved one at an early age and you just grew up to be grumpy. Now you're dead and you're over there with your loved one. So maybe you're happy again.
Or you haven't gone on yet and you're still not with your loved one. You're still looking for them.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's I don't know. I think the cut and dry of it is, and I say it almost every show, is we can't get away from the fact that, was that for me? No. Okay.
She's entertained.
She's entertained over there. But we can't get away from the fact that ghosts, as long as we're talking ghosts.
Ghosts. Okay.
They're just people. Ghosts.
Right.
They're just people.
Not demons. Not anything like that. Just ghosts.
No. They don't die and develop all these supernatural powers. They're just a person that doesn't have a body.
It's just a spirit. It's your spirit.
Yeah.
It's
now, granted, they're energy.
I better not have any superpowers when I get to the other side. If I do, there's a lot of people gonna catch hell.
Yeah,
well,
hold on.
It. I'm still gonna have the power. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna ask for it if I have to. Please, when I die, let me have the power to knock stuff over. Just to startle people in the night. Like, only people I know. I won't do strangers or anything.
I will.
That's reassuring. None of y'all are safe, just so you know. If you know me.
I've got a list. Trust me, I've got a list of people that when I die.
All this.
I'm gonna have to tattoo it somewhere so I can see it when I'm dead.
Some of you are gonna be a little bit more scared than the rest of you, but it's fine. It's okay. Don't worry.
Like
some should be worried and some should not.
I'm just gonna start showering saying icky the whole time. That way you won't mess with me.
Oh wow. Guess what? It's gonna make it worse.
But it's funny. We talk about Mr. Gordy and Amy brought up like the Texas Chainsaw and The Exorcist and a lot of these movies. And every one of these movies have some background of truth.
Mm-hmm.
Where they start. Texas Chainsaw, that was based off of a series of murders in Texas. And they caught the guy actually using human flesh in chili that he used to compete with. That was a real story that they turned into a Hollywood story. Then you got things like Slender Man and Bigfoot and all this other. The Slender Man, there's so many different stories about him that there's always some truth to a lot of these fables.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's up to us as investigators to try and sort through the BS to find some of the truth.
That's exactly right.
There's too many people, especially kids, that when you start talking to them about their imaginary friends, that give almost identical descriptions for there not to be something to these imaginary friends.
Mm-hmm.
So
I did too. Mine taught me how to tie my shoes.
Mine didn't teach me shit. Mine I used to sleep in my bed with my stuffed animals, like kind of lined up around me, like a bear. And I would sleep with my and anybody who's ever investigated with me, slept in the crew room with me somewhere, knows I sleep half with a blanket over my head most of the time. It's just to shut out the noise of the whatever spirits are around. So I just like do, it's just a thing. But I remember doing that when I was little, and then um, years later, and okay, so we moved out of that house. We moved to Florida for a year out of this Arizona house. Moved back to Arizona a year later, right? I wanted a different room. I didn't want the same room.
So you moved back to the same house?
Yeah, because we still owned it. We didn't sell it. Yeah. We were trying to sell it, didn't sell, blah, blah. We moved back in. So I picked a different room. Okay. So a couple years passed, and my dad told me, he goes, why'd you want to switch rooms? And I said, because it was creepy in that room, and there was people, and I didn't like the closet, and I felt like I needed to like make this barricade. And I didn't do that in the next room. I just slept normal. And so he said, well, there's some weird things that happened in the people that lived in the house before we bought it, and they did some weird stuff, and because there was like locks in weird places and like different things. But apparently, the children slept in the closet.
In the room that you didn't like?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah. And that was the room they put me in as a baby too. And lots of things happened in that room that were like, I had a dresser fall on top of me in that room. Yeah, I got caught in a remember those? Oh, and they still make them, I guess, but this one was old. But those pull-out beds, and they had like that, like shitty, like thin ass mattress, but the big prongs, right? And rolled up, it looked like this weird, like woven, it was a 70s woven pull-out couch. And it got stuck in that motherfucker in that room. Now, I wasn't in that. That wasn't my bedroom at the time, but I had gone back in there. My grandparents were visiting, and I went to go climb up on their bed, just to like snuggle in their bed or whatever. And it got stuck in yeah. So that room wasn't a great room. It wasn't a good experience for me in that room. But I had a doll that talked, that shouldn't talk.
That shouldn't talk. I thought you said shit and talk.
I mean, there were those, and they like fed them, and I didn't. My grandmother had brought me this doll back from England, and
did it shit?
It talked. I heard it talk and move, and I would put it in the hall closet, like where the linens went. I shoved that motherfucker in there at night. Like I'm like, no. So the same thing with the clown. Night after night, I kept putting that clown, and my dad like guilted me. He's like, oh, but my mother made this for you. She handmade it. Look at it. It's all stitched up, and look at how wonderful it is. And I'm like, it scares me. Okay, no. And so after a while,
or a scream.
Coyote.
It sounded like a scream.
It sounded more scream than coyote.
I didn't do it. I'm way away.
That was loud as fuck. I don't know. God, that was fucking creepy. Did you hear it?
That's quick though.
That's awful quick. See if it's here somewhere. No, she was talking, and you hear outside this blood-curdling scream.
It come across.
Did you hear it?
Yeah. And then I heard the sirens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the sirens are going.
That scream was loud. It's so quick for the scream and then the sirens, unless they had already been screaming.
Unless they got hit or something. As loud as that was, though, we'd have heard them get hit.
Yeah,
Get that
just in
pew-pew.
case.
Yeah, go get the pew pew. There's nothing but
Because we
scream.
heard the wee woo.
So what happened after he
woo.
guilted you into?
Get the pew pew. Clown.
Yeah.
I had to let it sleep in my room, and finally, I just had to go to my mother and be like, "Look, this has got to go. I know that Grandma made it, but." I mean, I was young. Like, why would you guilt me like that when I'm telling you it scares me? And you're like, but Grandma made it. Well, I don't give a fuck. Grandma started making me some sweatshirts and shit with puffy paints and like iron on Christmas shit too. But goddamn, it doesn't mean I gotta like keep it forever. If it scares me, okay, I'll hang up the sweatshirt for a couple of months, years, whatever, and let it hang there. But I'm not letting that clown hang there. No, hell no.
I got
finally
Wendell.
went to the Goodwill.
Yeah.
Do you remember the movie Magic where they'd had the ventriloquist doll?
I remember that one.
It was like it was like in a tuxedo with and it had like a little bit too big of a head, and it just looked like all too perfect.
Yeah. No, I don't remember that.
The year that came out, right before it came out, guess what I got for Christmas? A ventriloquist doll.
Ew. Wait, do you still have it?
It's in my dad's attic if I still do. But yeah, so I had this ventriloquist doll, and I thought it was kind of cool. But I wouldn't leave it out.
And a ventriloquist doll.
Yeah,
I got a lot of questions, sir.
It's okay. You can make its mouth move. We could. Okay, I'll go look for the ventriloquist doll.
These two.
But yeah, it was like talk about horrible timing for a kid because I was comfortable with the doll until that movie came out.
Blue teeth in it.
Yeah, that did make it creepy.
Did you ever see any of the Full Moon Video movies, like Demonic Toys or anything like that? They were all B-rated horror movies.
Demonic Toys sounds familiar.
It had Bruce Campbell used to do several of their movies where he lost his hand and they had a chainsaw on the end of his hand, and that's what I tell a lot of the people to go watch these B-rated horror movies to get ideas for the haunted house. And some of them got real, too personal. Like one guy wanted to do the movie he watched was Silent Night, Deadly Night, and he wanted to have Santa Claus killing the kids. And I'm like, no, we can't do that. Not going to happen. And he said, well, what about the Easter Bunny? Can we string him up? I'm like, no.
Can we string him up?
Well, a JC group out in Michigan, they got sued because they had two rooms. One was Barney killing a bunch of kids, and the next one,
string that motherfucker up.
the Barney Corporation sued him.
Well,
sued him and actually won.
Over stringing up the Easter Bunny.
Oh, that was one of the guys from our haunted house.
No,
yeah, but
we finally let him do the evil pumpkin. He come out of a pumpkin patch through the floor and killed the couple that was out there making out in this pumpkin patch.
I'm more scared of the Easter Bunny.
Are you?
Yeah.
Why? Because he comes hopping down the bunny trail.
It's the head of the costume.
Hippity, hippity,
Shut the fuck up. Hippity hoppity.
I'll have to remember that I've got an Easter Bunny costume, and I'll have to pop by your house one day and just poke up in the window and go, hello, and then drop back down.
Her desk is right beside the window, so you could do that.
Poop.
We did that with a friend of mine with a scream mask, and she about broke her damn neck trying to get out of there.
I worked at a pediatric office for 17 years, and one of the doctors knew about my scary or my problem with, I don't like masks, full masks that come down solid piece. Like the Easter Bunny has a solid head, you know what I mean?
Right.
Bless you.
Thank you.
And
I'm allergic
like
to the Easter bunny.
Me too.
He scared the
Same,
crap out
same.
of me as a kid, so I mean, that's legitimate.
But this whole head mask where I can't see your face, I don't like masks like that. And I didn't like them as a kid either. And I don't think I was really a fan of Santa Claus. I'm not gonna lie. But and Haley wasn't either. Zach was like, and you can see he's just like
Marco looks at me and goes, "Oh, Santa looks a lot like some of our kinfolk." Yeah, that's because he was.
Haley just screamed. Just screamed.
Everybody,
except when she was like little, like her first birthday, because she's a Christmas Eve baby. Her first birthday, she was like, "Okay, yay!" And she had her like pacifier in her mouth, so keep her. After that, she was like, "Nope,
no, all of mine are crying."
I think maybe I have a couple with Zach, like the Well Star Santa. Yeah, cool. But no. So like, I want the whole team.
Yeah, Wendell.
Yep.
Investigator.
We're doing Harriman. We need to do a whole team. Do Harriman. You didn't get to do South Pittsburgh with us, so we're gonna do Harriman.
Okay.
And I'm gonna like figure out what we can do to set that up, but so we can all do it because you haven't been, and the rest of the team hasn't been to Harriman.
None of the team has been to
None
Harriman.
of the team has been to Harriman. I don't think
he went to
No?
Harriman either.
Okay.
He just did Old
South
South.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
It's in Harriman, Tennessee. It's about 3 hours from me, where I'm
Okay.
at.
You know, if you're going to Knoxville or to Gatlinburg, right before you get to Lost Sea, if you turn off there,
past Lost Sea,
is it
we
past
went that
it?
weird? Yeah, it is. We had a weird experience. It's past the Lost Sea.
Yeah, so it's right in that area. You turn off of 75 and go into the left.
What is it, 40 or 20?
Yeah,
40.
it's about 30 minutes after you turn off there of 75 by Lost Sea. So it's not too bad.
Not by Lost Sea.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad at all.
Not at all. We know some good, cute little Airbnbs to stay at, so it will be a great experience. I think it will be fun for the team to do. For listeners, if you want to experience either of the hospitals, this Friday I will be there. I will be at Harriman this Friday for an event. We will have Brian and Rochelle, as they are known, from Ghost Hunters. And we're also having Satori Haas, I think. Sorry, I'm choking.
Which is Jason's.
And yeah, Jason Haas's daughter. And it's going to be great. And if you can't make Friday at Harriman, the same group will be at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital on Friday. If you check out the page on Facebook, you can find the link to buy tickets. And if you're there and you decide to buy tickets, come say hi to me. I'll be there Friday. I won't be there Saturday at South Pittsburgh, but I'll be at Harriman. So I'll see you.
Well, this weekend I will be moving. I'll be finishing.
No, but we're going to find a weekend where we can do it as a team. It'll be great. It'll be so much fun.
And then the following weekend, I've got to work out at Kevin's office.
You got to work where?
Place. Oh, at your place.
My office.
Weekend of the 6th.
Yeah,
we're supposed to be putting in the fans. So,
or if that means I got to be there that weekend, probably.
Paul said that he'd figure out a way to get me in because I'm gonna try and do 3 on Saturday and 3 on Sunday. So
cool. Well, I'll talk to Paul. But Wendell,
once I get settled in, I look forward to doing some of these things.
Yeah, definitely.
Hell yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, none of this is going to be within the next, couple weeks. So
no,
we're looking at
we'll talk.
And we're talking about trying to do something really special with the team. So it's going to take some logistics. So we're talking, a month or so down the road.
And my wife's going to be helping us out when we get our little thing going to make us new shirts for the team.
No.
Cool.
Right.
So let's look forward to that.
Yeah.
But thank you for listening. And we have Crossover Paranormal Society. Hi,
Yay.
thank you. And Jack Bartella, thank you. We appreciate y'all listening. And all y'all out there, we love you. Be safe.
And
be
Wendell,
kind.
thank you, brother.
And come see me on Monday and hear me.
All right.
Love you.
Good night, everybody. Love you guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
Good night, y'all.